What's going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, today we're going to take this rig, which we have labeled as our Juggernaut rig. It has 6 total 1060s, a variety of EVGA, as well as Asus and Gigabyte. And then we also have 3 1080s down here, Zotac, PNY, and an NVIDIA Founders Edition. And finally 3 of our MSI 1660 Ti's. We're going to take all 12 of these, we're going to strip it all down. It's running on a wonderful H110 Pro board, and we're going to pull it all down, strip it apart, and we're going to put it all into this brand new AAAWave 12 GPU frame that we just built the other day. If you guys are interested in the video on us building this and my review of this frame, I'll put a link in the upper right hand corner to it. So let's not waste too much time. We're going to go ahead and throw on our GoPro chest mount, give you guys a two-handed view, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We have both hands now to work with versus holding the camera. And what I want to do is I want to take everything out of here that is in our current rig, strip it down, and then we're going to put it right here on the table, spread it out, and then determine exactly where we want to put everything within our new frame. So let me go ahead and get started with that. I'll be right back in just a second, guys. Okay guys, so that took much longer than I expected, but the rack's completely cleared off and gone. All of our cabling on the ground and laid out, and we have everything up here. So go over it real quick. We are going to be using GPU risers for our build. Here's the Zotac Ant 1080. We have the PNY 1080 OC. We have our Founders Edition 1080. This is a Gigabyte 1060, Asus 1060. Then we have 3 MSI 1660 Ti's, and then in the back here we have 4 of the EVGA 1060 6GB minis. So then in addition to that, our pile of GPU risers from the build, I probably will go ahead and swap in. These are the 8 capacitor ones. These are the newer ones here with the butterfly clip. We're probably going to swap in to our 8 capacitor ones versus some of our a little bit older, but not a big deal. Take the opportunity. These are the 4 capacitor ones. So my next step is I need to lay it out, get my motherboard on here, get my anchors installed. So I'll check back in just a minute, and once I get that all laid out and in place, and then we'll kind of see where we're going to lay things out. Something I may need to look at is with the minis, where I want to put the support bar in relation. So like if you imagine, you know, where this is at right now, you know, this granted this is the GPU riser, sorry, the GPU hanger that's going to come off, but this would sit here, and then I kind of might put the 1060s up top or maybe at the bottom. I'm not sure yet. I have to decide. I'm gonna have the best airflow up top, which I think some of these other cards might need it, so I have to debate that a little bit on 1060s across the bottom or 1060s up top. We'll see. Kind of debate that in my head now, but I'll check back here in just a minute after I get the motherboard and the power supplies laid out within our 12 GPU AAAWave frame. Okay guys, so here's kind of what I'm thinking. I needed to wipe everything down. I couldn't believe how dusty it was. So I'm kind of thinking solid state drive in the front here, which is pretty traditional. Now I've only been using my ATX power supplies to power the motherboard, and I may end up powering some of my GPUs with the ATX power supply. It's only 500 watt, so it's nothing too crazy. I do have a 750 watt down there. I may rob and use that instead. Maybe I'll use that 750 watt and get rid, this is a 750 watt here, get rid of this and just use that, and then I have a 1200 watt over here off to the side, and then back in here we have our motherboard, is what I'm thinking. So that might be a good avenue to go once we get all set up and situated. So let me go ahead and swap. Let me, I was gonna say I could steal that one. Wait, this one is 750. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Okay, so that is 750. So I think we're gonna drop this guy out for now, unless we find differently. And I just have to find the box for this to make sure that we get everything we need, because on this right now I do not have any of the PCI attached, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back, it looks like, on there. So we might have some good options there. So I guess we're ready to get started at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the motherboard. Let's see. I'm going to get the motherboard anchors in first. It's always hard to kind of work right over this. Gotta be gentle. Don't want to mess anything up here. Yeah, let's get the motherboard anchors in first. And then, you know, kind of running out of space here. Let's get these out of the way. They look good laid out. I do need to take off all these GPU hangers though. Here we go. Okay, so that's there. So now let's give ourselves a little more room to work, which I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna put let's put the power supply in first. It's off to the side. And this case, or this frame, does come with a boatload of screws, which is fantastic. When we built this the other day, this guy right here is used to secure the power supply, as well as the holes off to the side here. So let's go ahead and put that on. So I'll just go ahead and get this in place. I really wish I would have used a fully modular power supply here on this versus using a semi-modular, because now I got all these extra cables I have to find homes for, which kind of sucks, because I like things to look clean and look nice. So this is in place here. So just need to move that a tiny bit, and then we should be able to go ahead and get this secured and good to go. The only thing I might do is, if this will rotate, let me see. I'd rather have the fan on the outside like that. But you know what? I don't have the screw holes for that. So ideally, this is the best way to do it. Lined up like this. The downside is the screw holes aren't set up that way. The screw, maybe I'll put this on the other side then. Let's look here. Will that work? No, the distance is off. Now let's see. Will that work here? No, the distance is off. So I'm taking a look at this case here. Let's see, I'm trying to give you guys some type of view. When I bend down, it's kind of hard to see, I do apologize. So the hole, this hole will fit here and this one will fit here. This one, I almost have to like angle it. I guess that could work if I put it over here. I want the intake and the exhaust side to go out versus blowing directly in across my motherboard. And oh, look at this giant line here, it's gross. So yeah, I mean, ideally this is the best way to do it at the end of the day, as long as it fits. This is interesting. I just don't like that, like this screw down here, like this is angled versus actually, I mean, it's fine, it's not the end of the world, but you know, just kind of particular about how it ends up. So let's get this in here, and then I think we'll do our motherboard second. Yeah, why would you ever put, like, that's so interesting. So if this was to go over here, let's see, maybe my view isn't right anymore. There we go, I'm just fixing my GoPro. If this was over here, we'd be blowing air across our motherboard the entire time, which is not what we want. I mean, this is plenty secure. I mean, we got 3 screws in one power supply. It's not going anywhere. Cool. Looks good, looks good. Okay, so now let's do our motherboard. It does come with, look at this, we can use a nice power button versus our gutted one out of our HP power supply, or HP tower. Okay, so we got our standoffs, motherboard anchors, whatever you want to call them. There we go. Yeah, leave a comment down below, guys. Let me know if you enjoy like this type of video. Just kind of hanging out, chatting with you guys, and you know, we'll kind of go from there. Keep doing them. So the one thing I do need to do is I need to go get a set of needle nose pliers to tighten these, because by hand definitely isn't the way to go. And then when you go to screw these in, it becomes challenging if these aren't completely screwed down. So I'm just eyeing these up now, and then we'll tighten them up fully in just a minute here. So let me go grab me one of those pliers. I'll be back in just a second. All right, so we got our standoffs are in place. Our next step is to go ahead and screw these in. Most people will recommend some type of hex pattern with the screws in order to just make sure that you're not messing up the motherboard in any way. So we'll start out there, and we loosen a screw. That's why I use a little magnetized screwdriver. And I know some people might go, oh my gosh, don't put that around the motherboard. It's fine, promise. Okay, so let's get these 8 in. We got 3 so far, and then I think the next thing we'll do, now the 1200 watt power supply is most likely just going to get laid to the side. I might use like a double-sided tape or like a Velcro or something like that just to keep it in place. I mean, it's not going to go far, but I'd rather keep it from sliding around at all, which I think will be the best option to go with. So we just got one more after this and we should be good. Yeah, I'm excited to get the cards in place, kind of see how we want to lay this whole, I got one more after this, we can count, I swear. I'm excited to get the cards in place. That's going to be the biggest one, is just kind of figuring out. I think I might put the bigger cards on top, so like the 1080s and the 1660 Ti's, put them on top, and then just do all the 1060s on the bottom rack, just for like cable management and stuff like that. I think that'll make things much easier at the end of the day, which should be nice. So okay, we got that in place. So this power supply, where my head was going, It's a shame there's nothing on the back of this that I can secure to. See, if I wonder if you could secure this. I'm gonna fix the GoPro real quick here. I wonder if I can secure this one screw here. So you see this screw right here? I was trying to figure out, could I get this in here to secure this? Maybe. Something's fighting me. It's this clip right here. See, that would be so nice to be able to, but I'm not going to modify this frame or anything like that. It's fine. It's fine. So I do want to put something on. See how this like slides? Fix the GoPro again. You see how this slides super easy? And so I want to put something on the bottom here that is sticky enough that won't have this moving around, which I think is the big one. So let me go see if I can find something. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I found some 3M. This is actually Scotch, not 3M, but everyone calls it 3M. 3M double-sided tape here. So I think this will work out well. So what I'm going to do is just do a few strips down this. I think that'll work well. And just to hold it in place, you know. 2 is probably fine. It's not going anywhere. But I think this is a good avenue to go. There we go. Don't want to stab myself with the knife. Now this is the worst thing about double-sided tape is peeling this off. This is actually coming off much easier. Usually this is like so much more work. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? This stuff usually is like the thing of nightmares. Okay, so that's coming off, which is good. I'm gonna put that in my pocket so I don't have trash sitting around. My wife, I don't know about you guys, my wife always finds like screws and stuff like that in my pockets. And so like in our laundry room now, there's just a pile of just like screws and drill bits and mining pieces, you know, mining parts that end up in my pockets that I throw in the laundry. This one's a nightmare. Oh my gosh, that other one was so easy. Does anybody have, here you go, here's a question. Do you have a tip as to how to get this off super easy? Oh, there we go, nice. Super easy, because that seems like it's so much work. Okay. Let's get this in place. So, I'm gonna put it right about here. Push it down. There we go. She ain't going anywhere. Oh, I have to make sure I can get a plug in here. Hang on. All my cables are now sitting over here, going into my PDU. Let's see. I gotta make sure I can get a cable in there. Okay. It's a little tight. There we go. That works. Okay. Good. Not going anywhere. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I could get something in there. We'll clean this up later. Okay. So we got that. So now let's get our solid state drive secured and in place. Let's put this away. So I have a rig parts drawer in here. We got a variety of different goodies. CPU, memory, splitters, solid state drive, stuff like that. Gotta keep things organized. You guys ever see Red Fox Crypto? He is like crazy anal when it comes to everything and how organized he is. Okay, so probably should have done the solid state drive actually first. Let's see, I'm probably gonna put it this way, which is a shame because the logo is upside down. But let's think here. So I can put it over here, I guess, too. The reason I say, I mean, I guess I go this way. Yeah, we'll just go this way. So I have to pull this closer to the edge. I think these screws are too big. Yeah, let's use these little ones. I think these little ones that are used for the motherboard standoffs are the right size. Let's see here. Try it out. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, cool. Okay, so these are the ones we want. So we actually, I'm gonna raise up my GoPro now. I can't even tell if that's giving you guys a good angle or not. So I need to get this close to the edge. Of course, that makes you feel real good, right? Can I do it? Can't really do it over here. Nope, it's over here. Okay, so I have to pull the whole thing towards the edge. Makes you feel a little nervous, right? Oh God, where'd you go? Okay, come here. There we go. Okay. Oh God, the rack started to move. See, I told you. Is that gonna work? Or is that gonna not tighten enough? Sorry, you guys are getting some wonky view right now. There we go. Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. Let me put the other one in. Well, it shows off the GPU riser, or GPU risers.com solid state drive, I guess. Not the end of the world. That's a good thing, right? Okay. Let me get this finished, screwed in. There we go. That actually works out well. Nice. That actually turned out much better than I expected. Just checking my view here. Okay, so solid state is in. So what else do we have? We have cards, risers, and cabling. The cabling is always the worst. So let's do the PCI adapter cards. Man, cabling sucks. Let's do the PCI adapter cards now. Get that done and over with. So I got this pile over here. All right, so those are 4, 8. Let's move these over here. We're going to use those. I'm just looking at the capacitors. We're going to use the 8 capacitor. We're going to swap out the 4 capacitor. Okay. Ta-da! I know, some of you guys are cringing right now. Like, oh my gosh. Alright, so let's go ahead. So when you guys are putting these in, you always want to have this end out. So you see how this is designed here? You always want to have it out. Now these are the nice new ones from GPUrisers.com because they actually have a little LED light on them. So it kind of gives you some confirmation that it is plugged in. Something that ChumpchangeXD does, and if you guys haven't checked out his channel, I'll put a link down below. Please go check it out. Great guy. He actually sent me, it's not this board, but he did send me an H110 Pro board as a gift not too long ago. Crazy man. He actually wraps these in electrical tape because they're so close together to avoid them making contact or causing any issues, which is definitely a smart move. Okay. Now, we have 12 of these here. We will have 1 extra slot. I'm missing a card. I got plenty. Oh, here it is. Right here. There we go. Cool. So with these, if you guys were to set everything up in boot, you would get a message if you don't power the Molex here. You have to power both of these Molex, which this is actually gonna be really interesting. So it's like, it's gonna be like a bunch of extra cables on the back side here. I wonder how other people do that. I actually haven't built a rig and a frame yet. I don't know if you guys realize that. All my rigs have been like up here, like hanging GPU frames. So like, this is different, this is new. Exciting to me. So let's get our motherboard wiring done now. It'll sit over here. A lot of this cabling will sit over here because of the way that the power supply is. Got it. Okay. So let's do like our 24 pin. It just runs right here. You just have so much extra cabling. It's the only downside. You guys are gonna get some odd views here. I do apologize. I'm gonna try my best. to give you the best view, but these bars are definitely in the way. Okay, so I'm just putting in the 24 pin now. I hate to push too hard because it is up a little bit, but you see how there's just like this extra here. I wonder if I use a small zip tie and go through these holes. I might do that. I have, see these small zip ties here? Ah, cable management, hell yeah. Okay, let's put this over here. Okay, so 24 pin is done. Let's do CPU next, which CPU on this board is an 8 pin, and these are all the extra. So I have two options. I can use the end here. Yeah, we'll use the, or I can use this one and tie this back, which is what I think I'll do. So let me cut this zip tie. I am all about cable management when I have the time and the items in place to do it, to make it easier. I actually want to like try to go some cable management down here with this rig, kind of zip tying to there, and like even up here, like if you guys take a look, some decent cable management, just using the way the rack is set up to try to do the best I can. So I don't know, it's so much nicer to work on like a nice clean setup. All right, let's get this. So I love these little zip ties. I use them for all my PCI cables to go ahead and tie them back. Use some side snips, clean it up. Okay, so we'll get into more cable management later. I am gonna plug this in. As I said before, no clue what type of view you're gonna get here. So you might be staring at the side of this thing. Who knows? Okay, that's plugged in. Good to go. She ain't the prettiest in the fleet, but she'll do. Now we are gonna try to use this ATX power supply, so I am gonna have to get those out and use those. I will not be using SATA to do anything but power our solid state drive. Okay, so let me get, we want our 750 watt. Is that this one here? Nope, that's 500. What about this one here? There we go, 750. Okay. So we should have, dude, this room's a mess right now. Yeah, we should have plenty of cables in here now when we get to needing the PCI cables. Okay, this one has one Molex and two SATA. We need two Molex, one SATA. This is just Molex. Oh, it does have a SATA on the end too. The reason I am looking at that is, here, give you guys a view since everything's locked in. We need a Molex, at this point in time. Dude, those are like on the other side of the board. Holy cow. There's no clean way to reach those. And these are not, dang, that's so inconvenient. Like, These two Molex are great, but they're too far apart, I think. Let me look here. It might work, but it's really gonna stretch it. Sorry, you guys are really looking at the floor. It's the only downside about using this GoPro. Let's see if this will work. This is quite a stretch. Wow. I mean, it's gonna work. It's it's kind of like holding the PCI cards in place though. Let me spin this around, give you guys a better view so you guys can laugh at it with me. Look at this. So, see how one Molex is here? Then it goes across the PCI cards, adapter cards, and then it plugs in here. I mean, it's gonna work. It does the trick. I just gotta get it out of the fan there. But, I'm just really surprised. Okay, so I think I'm gonna spend way too much time trying to pipe this all in, make it look all good, you know. Okay, so we got PCIe, SATA, hard drive. Okay, just gonna plug it in. Bam, good to go. Okay, what else we need? We have to power our SATA. And so we don't need the Molex there. This is really far. Can I fold this back? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. Easy enough. And we'll clean up that cabling at the end here. But we have our power to all our necessities. I did have a... Where is that? I did have a... Where is it? I have a SATA cable for this. Here it is. It's like buried down here amongst our splitters. That we'll want to plug in. How long that's at? I think I need a shorter SATA cable. What do you think? Try and get you guys a better view. Man, there's no downside. The GoPro is a lot of fun to use. We're gonna go in SATA 0. Oh my gosh, look at that. Like you're staring at my shoes. Constantly giving you guys weird views. This is gonna be really interesting to edit, I'm just gonna say. Okay, so everything has power right now that it needs to have power. I think we're ready to start doing some cards. The cool stuff, the stuff we look forward to the most out of everything. So let me get this cleaned up a little bit, and we'll take a look here. So we're going to install risers on each of our cards. I need to keep all this stuff out just in case I need it. Trash can. So I do need to start taking off these GPU hangers too. I'm gonna need more of these. Okay, let me go ahead and take off all the GPU hangers real quick. Okay, that took much longer than I expected. We got all of the GPU hangers off, so we are in a good place there. So now we're ready to start putting the cards in place with the risers. So what we had talked about was doing the smaller 1060s on the bottom, and then doing the 1660s and the 1080s on top. So I think what we'll do is we'll start out with this guy here. I think what I'm going to do is install the riser at the same time. Let's see. So riser's good, and then we're going to take it and we're going to end up installing it. So let me turn this, kind of give you guys a better angle. And then these are going to tie down with the screws that it came with. And the nice thing is the support bar right here, which is really convenient. So let me see here. So it has 2 screws for each, which is much better than like a Allen head key needed for this here. But let's see how this works out. So let's see, I'm not sure how I like that. Yeah, I don't think I like that. See the way the screw's sitting on there? I don't think I like the way that that's sitting on there. Like, oh. See, you know, this is, mistakes are made, right? Where's the face palms? Come on now. I know the comments are gonna come in chat. It's like, hey, just scoot it forward a tiny bit, right? Right to there, and oh, look at that, much better. you know, you learn. It's the new guy here, remember? I'm the new guy. I started in February. This is my first frame build. So, bear with me here, guys, okay? Not everybody's an expert. Okay. So, this one's in. Card 1. 11 more to go. Let me just get that one screwed tighter. Nice. Card 1 done. Bam. High five. Okay. We'll do the Gigabyte next. Get our riser on there. Save ourselves some work later. And this is our second 1060. All these cards on the bottom row here will be 1060s if you guys are curious. So Asus 1060, Gigabyte 1060, 6 gig. I've been mining Ethereum on these since I got these in. I haven't changed it up at all. I actually saw Red Panda Mining today actually has a bunch of 1060 3 gig cards that I've been mining on Ethereum Classic for like 4 years. I can only imagine how many times those went ahead and broke even. I mean, that's nuts. So now we get our 1060s. We did send one of these actually away to get repaired. More recently, actually, it was a 1060 and a 1080. It came back working, so that's what I want to hear. Okay, so these are the minis. So it looks like they'll be okay here. I was curious on how they would work, and actually the location of the stock support arm is actually works out actually really perfect for these cards so far. And I think they'll work out well for the cards up top. I mean, the biggest card is the 1080 Founders Edition. I think that I have that and the 1080 Zotac that's sitting under the risers over there. Those are my biggest cards. So those are the ones that, you know, make me consider. You can bump it back multiple different slots if needed, but I think we'll be okay once we get in there. Okay. These little minis, man. These were some of the, after my AMD, these were actually the first NVIDIA cards that I bought. I went and got all my 1060s all at once, and got all these all in one shot. Not from the same person, but yeah, the minis. And even then, I mean, man, when I got these minis, it wasn't that long ago. As I said, I started in February. I got March, April maybe, May, probably May. They were still like between $200 and $300, I bet. Maybe more. I don't even remember. GPU market's ridiculous. Any of you guys running 1060s? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to know which ones you guys running. These work. I mean, the 1060s are little workhorses. They definitely do the trick. Some of these actually have Hynix memory on them, which I was really surprised about. You know, like, you know, as you start to get into mining as a new miner, you start to realize, like, the exact same card, the exact model, well, it could have, based off the batch and such, different memory, you know, Padilla or Samsung, Hynix, Micron. Micron, I don't have as much. Not as many Micron cards. Mostly Samsung and Padilla, but a handful of Hynix, and they definitely, their overclock settings are definitely different than what I would get with like Samsung and Padilla. 100%. Okay, we're just about done our first row. These look so good. It looks so good. I'm so happy with this. Haven't done any of the cabling yet, and I'm gonna be like, I hate this. Cable management sucks. But I like it the way it is now. It's a good trophy. Now, my heat's definitely gonna be different with these. So, hanging GPUs have fantastic airflow. This is gonna be a little different story. These are not gonna have the airflow that I would traditionally elsewhere. Now I do need to install the fans actually. I just thought about that. Hang on. Okay, so AAAWave also sent me these fans. These are actually really sweet. I like how there's a 6-year warranty on them. Impressive. What do we have here for airflow? 56.3 CFM. So I'm going to install these, but in a second video, I think we're going to install these separately. I want to see what my airflow is like without them, and then we'll add them in to our frame. They go right in the back here. You can see it right here in the back, and then right below here as well is the way they get secured in there. So let me go ahead. I need to take a bathroom break, and no, you're not coming with me, you perverts. So I'm gonna take a bathroom break, grab a drink. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, so while I was waiting there, I did go ahead and actually nab the two PCIe cables from the power supply box. They went in directly into the power supply there. There's only two. So that means that will be set and good to go. You know, I'm not gonna recommend that you guys split off of these a ton. So please be careful. Make sure that you guys look into what they're power rated for. In addition to that, I did get our power button. This the AAAWave frame comes with a power button, and I did get that wired into the motherboard there. So we're good to go that way. So let's go ahead. Trying to think here. So yeah, this card I actually had repaired. This 1080, and I had the PNY as well. So I've had 3 cards that came out, more than that. 5 cards repaired so far. Crazy. So this is my largest card that you guys can tell between the two of these here. So we're gonna put this card right here on the end, and then should be good to go. So my GoPro's battery is dying. I'm just noticing that. So I'm gonna get these cards, 6 cards installed real quick, and then I'll be back when these are fully installed and our GoPro is charged. So guys, you guys will see these installed in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so note to self, make sure we buy a second GoPro battery with some of our YouTube money in the future. I am on my ZV-1 camera now while that charges, but look at this, guys. Look at this. I'm not gonna lie, this looks awesome. This looks so good. Oh my gosh, this is bad. This is bad news, guys. AAAWave, what have you done? Okay, so game plan. I went ahead and got all my PCI cables together, got my USB cables. We're gonna go with blue. I'm not gonna go with red. You know, Red Panda Mining seems to own the red, so no one else can do it. So we're gonna go with blue. I am using the GPU riser splitters. They do sell these guys on their website. Go check it out, gpurisers.com. And if you actually use the discount code, the Hobbyist Miner, I don't get any commission from it, any sales. I'm not looking to. I even told them that. But it gives you guys a nice 10% off discount. So go ahead and check it out, gpurisers.com. They not only sell risers, they also sell splitters, they sell the solid state drives. So the Hobbyist Miner, go ahead guys, use that discount code like crazy. So I have used these in the past. They work fine. These are the Deep in the Mines splitters that they do have out there, which are nice. I do prefer these now, only because they're so stiff. I like this kind of, I don't know, mesh they put on the outside to make these super stiff. They're much more enjoyable to work with. So, next steps. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to power my 2 most power hungry cards. So that would be my Zotac, of course, Zotac 1080, and my NVIDIA 1080 here. One comment to make about this is I actually considered this after I put this card in. I was like, oh, should I move this bar? You see how in this frame you can move it? So I could have moved it back farther, but these aren't like dipping down hard at all. So I left it exactly the way it is, where they recommend it in the manual when you first get started. But check that out. If I had like the 10 or the 3070s, 3080s, or 3090s, these crazy long cards, you could bump that back pretty significantly. So I'm going to power from my ATX power supply. Remember we talked about using 2 of the power leads from there. I'm going to power them from my ATX power supply, which is a 750 watt. So think of it, between these 2 and the power supply, 750 watts, plenty. But I'm gonna go ahead and get that wired up real quick, and then I'll be back here in just a second. Okay, so I got those powered. So what I did was one of the power legs comes up, and it actually runs into this Zotac here. Uses both 8 pins, 2 8 pins. You crazy? Then what I did was the second power leg comes up and does 1 8 pin on the NVIDIA 1080 Founders Edition. what I decided to do to power my risers is off of that one leg, which only went to there, I went ahead and put a splitter, 8-pin to 8-pin splitter, and then I just did both of my GPU risers in there. The one thing I'm noticing, this being my first like mining frame, especially 12 GPU frame, is man, the cable management sucks when you start to get into this. Like, all you're doing is threading cables between all the cards. There's no good easy way to do it versus like when you're doing something like a rack here. Like, look how clean this is when you're doing a rack. Like, down, you go across the bottom of the metal and you're good to go. Like, the cable management is so much nicer. There's so much room between the cards. Something like this, the cabling I'm noticing, so I love the look of it, but the cabling is just fed. Like, I can see right now I'm already gonna have an issue here with some of these cables hitting fans. So I'm gonna have to come back through and bundle my cables together once I'm all done and everything's tested. So GoPro's still charging. What I wanna do is I wanna finish all of the PCI power. So what I'm gonna do is, now that that's done, I'm gonna take, what do I got here? 6 cards. I'm gonna take the remaining power, and the way the rest of these cards I'm gonna do it, which are much smaller, is one, which is nice, out of my splitter, this one, I zip tied it back, it's a 6-pin, is gonna go to my riser, and the 8-pin is going to go to the card. And that's gonna work for my remaining 10 cards. Yes, that'll work for my remaining 10 cards, and then those are gonna come down and go into my HP power supply. Right over there for the PCI. So it's going to come off the splitter, it's going to go into my PCI cable, and it's going to go into my 1200 watt HP power supply there. So let me go ahead and do that, guys, and we'll have that done in 3, 2, and 1. Oh my gosh, cables everywhere. Yeah, man, those white PCI splitters look awesome, by the way, especially on the Asus white shroud there. But we're done with our PCI cabling. So the bottom row, which is our 1060s, everything just needed a 6-pin and a 6-pin to the card, which made it real easy, versus some of our bigger cards here was 6-pin to the riser and 8-pin to the actual card. So zip tied the additional 2 back and good to go. So we have a total of 10 cards running into our 1200 watt power supply, and then we have 10 cards and 10 risers going into our 1200 watt power supply, and the motherboard, 2 cards and 2 risers going into our ATX 750 watt power supply. So our next step, we're going to take our USB A to A 3.0. We're going to go from our PCI adapter cards into the GPU risers. Right there, you can see the other end. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll check back in just a moment. What a rat's nest. Oh my gosh. So I'm not going to do any Velcro or cable management tonight. I just want to make sure everything's working properly before we get into that. Plus, I can just turn this sucker around and it looks so much cleaner. But our USB cables are now done. PCI cables are done. I think we're ready to power this on. Maybe I'm missing something crazy, but I think we're ready to power this on. So let me go ahead and rotate this around. Let me get some power cables for us, and let's try this out. Once everything comes up and it shows us in HIVEOS, I will move it into our mining room here, and I do want to plug it directly into our PDU so that it'll give us some readouts on our voltage meter. So hang tight, guys. Let me get this in place so we'll be good to go. Okay guys, so we have our rig in place. It's on the floor for right now. What I need to do is I need to reconfigure this metal racking in order to fit this properly. So I do have to space this out better. I do not recommend putting your mining rigs on the floor, but for right now it'll do the trick. So we have one power cable coming in and going into our power supply, our HP server power supply. Another one coming into our ATX here, and then we have our Ethernet orange cable going into our board. So the way we're going to test this out and power it on is, first we're going to power on our HP server power supply. There we go. And what we'll notice and double check is we have lights for our risers. Now these two risers won't have lights because they're hooked to the ATX power supply, but all of these risers are good, which is awesome. The next thing that we're going to want to do, our ATX is turned on, so now we're going to go ahead and find our little power button here and press it. Oh, actually it might be off. Let's check. Yep, our switch is off. It's now on. And let's press our button. There we go. And in there we can see our CPU fan is spinning. The risers are now on for the two 1080s. And check it out, guys. Ah, it looks so good. Here you go, ready? Ah, let's turn off the other light. Let's check it out in the dark. There we go. How's that look? That looks so good. Especially because you got your red PCI adapter cards in the back. And then you got our red, bluish, purple risers. And then, dude, those MSI 1660 Ti's look awesome. Look at that. Oh, looks so good. Looks so good. But hey, we don't use it for mining because it looks good, you know? We use it because it works well. Okay, so now the real test. Does it show up in HIVEOS? So let's go ahead over here and let's refresh from earlier. Okay, cool. We got booted 1 minute ago. No miner, of course, no flight sheet, and 0 through 11. Heck yeah! Awesome, awesome. All right, give me a few moments here. I want to go ahead and get I'm going to get all the cards re-overclocked and set up because now they're all over the place. So let me get them all in the right places. I did take a screenshot of the previous setup so that I know what my overclock settings need to be. So give me a minute and I'll be right back, and then we'll give you guys a total hash rate as well as we'll check the power at the wall. Okay, so it's always fun configuring Phoenix Miner. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like Phoenix Miner. The numbers for the devices are always off by 1, but we're good to go. So we're running Phoenix Miner as well as T-Rex Miner. So we have T-Rex Miner running, and we're at 128 mega hash right now, and these are the 6 1060s. We then have Phoenix Miner running, and we're about 197 mega hash, so let's round everything. So we're at 330 mega hash, and these are the 1080s as well as the 1660 Ti's. So you can see here, there's our 1660 Ti's getting about 31 and a half. Our 1080s about 34 and a half. Our 1060s are 21, you know, a little higher than 21 with some of the tweaking that we've done. And I think that's all the different card types. So 330 mega hash on our rig. Coming over here, taking a look at the wall, we are at 1,300 and we'll say 1,380 for our rig, which works out well because we are running a 1200 watt as well as a 750 watt, so we're good. We're kosher. We're within the range that we need to be. Guys, we are done with this build for tonight. This is definitely going to be posted later tomorrow. But what I still want to do with this rig is I want to take Velcro straps, and I do want to go ahead and cable manage the back side of this with the USB cables, the PCI cables, and the splitters. I also need to go ahead and reconfigure that metal rack to fit this on it. Never recommend having things at the ground level just because of flooding and things like that, whatever. But we'll bump this up and have this up off the ground, which will work out nicely. So I'm excited, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to get my hands on more of these and put some of my other rigs that aren't RevTech boards. So like the RevTech board rigs, that's a RevTech board rig, and that's a RevTech board rig. They just come out phenomenal. They look awesome. Cable management's great. The traditional ones, I'm thinking about moving them all to 6, 8, or 12 GPU frames, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, this was incredibly long. The camera work definitely was not the best. And I appreciate you guys hanging with me on this one. I had a blast doing this. Please go ahead, leave your comments down below, your questions down below. Don't forget to go ahead and join the Hobbyist Miner Discord. We have over 3,000 people now in there, and there's conversation going all day long at a variety of different channels that we do have. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care.